Hello everybody, Travels with Dottie here, and today's adventure, it's not much of an adventure. It's a routine repair in, I would say, RV life, but it's on my truck. I got a slow leak in a tire. That can happen no matter where you live, right? As long as you're driving a vehicle. But I noticed the other day, I got an alarm on the truck saying, hey, you got low tire pressure. It was down to 22. Everything else was 35. So I aired it up. And it stayed up pretty good for a couple days. But this morning I checked. Everything else was at 35 and this was at 30. So it's definitely losing air very slowly. So I got on the phone and I called. Who did I call, Dottie? Who did I call? Let's give credit where credit's due. Rocky Mountain Automotive. I called and he said, come on right over.
Head northwest.
He said, head northwest. Let me turn this around. Now, let me tell you something, camera. Do I have cameras that don't give a little, this has got a little bit of, they call it fisheye going, wide angle lens. But it's convenient as heck for me to use this camera for driving because I can flip back and forth. It's got a, I think wider angle is better driving. You can see more. I just like it better. Some people don't like it. Don't bother telling me. I'm at my wit's end with people criticizing, do this, do that with your cameras, use this camera, not that camera. If you're that interested in how things are done, start your own darn channel. That's all I can say.
Continue on US 64 West for 11 miles.
So it's about 11 miles away. Not bad, huh? But we want to get this taken care of because in about less than 2 weeks, today's Tuesday, a week from Sunday, I'm headed out. I'm leaving Eagle Nest. Gonna head for Artesia. So that's all. A little sad about that. A little excited to get home. I really consider, because my home base is there now, my little house. I consider that home, and haven't been there since June 7th. And it's now September 2nd. What do you say about that, Dottie? Feel the same way? Dottie feels the same way. So, mixed emotions, always mixed emotions about leaving where I am, going to the next place. My initial plan today was I was gonna ride the bike into the park here, sit down and do just a general talk to you in front of the camera and read a bunch of comments and talk about what I've been hearing from you viewers for the past couple of weeks, but I'm gonna do this instead. I can do that tomorrow. I'm pretty far ahead on videos. I don't know exactly how that happened, but I've got videos booked, ready to go out, automatic releasing early in the morning through like next Wednesday or Thursday for like a week. I'm like a week out. So there's no pressure for me to do any videos. I still do my positive news videos. I do those on a daily basis every day. I don't do those ahead of time. Sometimes I do it ahead of time. Like if I have a road trip and I'm going to leave at 5 a.m., I'll do the positive news the night before. But otherwise, I don't do that. The reason is it starts my day off right to sit at my desk and look for something positive in the world that I can report on. And I always find something. And lately, the website I've been using is called, let's see, what is it called? Sunny Skies. Skies are spelled S-K-Y-Z. Sunny Skies is where I get nowadays the majority of my positive news videos, because they've gotten so good at it. I mean, they, like me, they scrub the internet for good news and they repost them there. So I repost what they do. I'm not much competition for them because I only get a few hundred views on each of them, but it makes me feel pretty good. So we have Angel Fire 10 miles according to that sign. I had somebody I blocked from the channel recently. It's been pretty rare these days that I do that, but it's somebody that saw another YouTuber contradict something I said about New Mexico. And the comment was, so-and-so says this, what say you? And to me, that was bait to pit me versus this other YouTuber who, unbeknownst to them, happens to be a good friend of mine. And I responded. I said, here, number one, I think it's not kind of you to approach it that way. I think it'd be a whole nother story if you said, hey, I saw so-and-so say XYZ on their channel and you said something very different. Can you tell me what the difference might be? Something like that. But the way the wording was, not nice. The intention was not nice. It's not important what it was. And the second thing I said was, this is something you could look up yourself very easily. It wasn't a thing that was a matter of opinion. It was a fact that could be looked up. And one of us, either me or the other YouTuber, got bad information. That's all I can tell you. But good information, it's pretty easy to come by. And I suggested that why would you have me do that legwork versus you just Google searching yourself? And I find that someone asked, I don't mind questions. Somebody asked me a question about my opinion or something to do with something that I said in a video versus, what's the population of Quartzsite? Well, I'm not Google. If you want to know the population of Quartzsite in the same amount of energy it takes to type that question into my channel, you can type it into Google and get your answer immediately, and I don't have to do that extra work. Now, as I'm saying it sounds a little petty, but there's just something about the wording of it. They say X, you say Y, what say you now? That kind of, it just didn't seem kind. And the response was, hey, I was just telling you where I got my information. It was even, the response was even nastier. So that person got blocked. And it's interesting, that person I'm sure doesn't know they're blocked, because here's how it works. I just click next to their YouTube channel username and say hide from channel. And what that does is it hides their comments from me and you. By you, I mean all my other listeners. They can still see their comment and they can still make comments, but no one but them is seeing it. So I can imagine that the people I've hid from the channel over the years have a lot more nasty things to say, and they don't realize that I'm not seeing any of it, which is I think that's a pretty neat thing. They can still watch as much as they want, but their comments and interactions just won't be seen. And like I said, it's pretty few and far between that I do that. I do delete comments occasionally, and there's no ill intent or anything, and I don't want to get into a debate. But generally, in particular, here's a pet peeve I have. If I mention a business and you go on and on criticizing that business, I'll delete that. And that's only because I think there's a place for that, and that is there's lots of places online. If you want to review a business, there are lots of places to do that. And my channel isn't one of those places. That negativity it isn't something that I'm good with, that I'm okay with. And the latest one that was a plethora of that, I mentioned all the controversy around the logo change. Hang on a second. Excuse me, sorry. Logo change around, what do you call it? I want to say Golden Corral, but I'm having a distracted moment. Cracker Barrel, sorry. And some people really, really, one, make it a political thing, which I think is ridiculous, and two, talk down the value of the business and how terrible their food is. So all that stuff just got deleted. As far as if I don't have anything nice to say about a business, I don't say anything at all. Like if I go to this place to get my tire fixed and I have a terrible experience, then you won't be hearing me say this because I won't do this video. I won't even, this is how far I go. I will not go to a small town to have a tire repair and then trash or have a bad experience and criticize the company because it's small enough where someone could probably guess or worse, guess wrong about who it was. I'm trying to make sure I've got my directions up here so I don't get lost going there. It's only a couple 2.6 miles away. So I hope you can understand that. I know there are people that say, hey, don't you owe it to people to tell them about bad experiences? Not really. Is there circumstances where I would feel ethically compelled to say something? I'm not going to say no. There might be. I'm not sure exactly what it would be. But it would have to be something pretty extraordinary. I think warning someone about something that I think might be dangerous, I think I would say something, but not poor service at a business. Yeah, there are channels out there. Their whole thing is reviewing businesses, and they do the good and the bad and the ugly, which is great. That's what their channel's about. That is not what my channel's about. Doesn't mean one's any worse than the other. They're just different purposes. And for those of you that this is pretty boring, see Dottie, there's Dottie. There's my Dottie dog. She really loves to go for a ride in the car, don't you, Dottie?
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Mountain View Boulevard.
You wanted directions. You just heard that, didn't you? You got directions.
Turn left onto Mountain View Boulevard. Continue on Mountain View Boulevard for half a mile.
Turn around so you can see where this place is. I've been down on this road before because he mentioned when I called him that he's right next to the propane place.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Agua Road.
Not here, but we're turning into the same place.
Turn right onto Agua Road, then turn right.
There's the propane place.
Turn right, then your destination will be on the left.
Here we are.
Head north, then turn left.
Oh, that's enough. That's enough out of you. All right, I'll be back to you when I figure out what's going on. But here we are. There's a little dog running around out. Well, $40 later, and I am cured. It was a big old spike. He took off the tire and turned it around, and there was a big old spike in it. I'm amazed that the leak was that slow, but he patched it. I was in and out in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, probably 20 minutes counting the wait, and it was good. So I recommend, you got a tire problem, come here. I'll put the info up on the screen here so you can see. And we are on our way back to camp. And you know, while I was sitting waiting my turn, I was listening to YouTube, and I was listening to Deborah Dickinson, my dear friend, who just lost her wonderful little dog, Bandit. And she was talking about the the different types of pet owners that there are, from the most casual to the most intertwined and invested. And you know, casual is, they're farm dogs that stay outside all the time, never come in the house, and don't get that kind of close relationship. Then you have family dogs that are living in the house and with the kids and everything. And then there's the dogs that are with us single folk. Dottie's my third dog as an adult and as a single person. And I can attest to the utter emotional devastation I experienced when I lost those first two dogs. And I can only partially imagine the devastation I'll feel when it's Dottie's time. There's a daily presence and an unconditional love that is omnipresent in your life every day that you have a dog like this. And adding to it a little bit is being an RVer. Dottie and I, there's no separate room for Dottie to be in. Dottie's either on her bed at my feet or in the bed with me when I sleep. And right now she's, of course, in the car with me while I travel. Now, occasionally Dottie will be left at home, and she's fine with that. She doesn't have separation anxiety. She'll just be calm and sleep. But the strength of that bond over years between, in particular, a Nomad that's single and their dog or cat is not to be underestimated. And I say this as a Nomad, a single man that's experienced it, and as a licensed counselor. I'll bring all those qualifications to bear to say that. I'll give you an example with Dottie and I. Dottie's too big by, 5 or 6 pounds at least to be able to go on an airplane in a carrier underneath the seat in front. The only other alternative would be to put her in a cage in a cargo hold. And there's not a chance in a million years I would do that unless it was to get her someplace to save her life for whatever reason. It's the only time I do that. Very soon now, my brothers and sisters, 2 brothers, sisters, and my niece are all meeting together in New York City. And they really wanted me to come. And my answer was, I'm not leaving my dog. I love you all dearly, but I am not leaving my dog. The last time we were all together was, I think it was in New York City. It was my nephew's wedding, and I was living in Virginia, and I brought Dottie with me, and I rented an Airbnb that was a room in a big house in Brooklyn, and they allowed me to have Dottie there, and I left Dottie in the room when I went out to the wedding and went out to dinner and such. But I did not leave home without Dottie, and I will not leave without Dottie. And there are people that don't understand that. I think my siblings understand it. I know Deborah does, and I know Frugal RV does. I know they understand. But anyway, I didn't mean to end this video on a downer, but I got it's up to 41 psi. The new tire, which is good, and I'm all set to head home in the next couple of weeks. And I think that's two big Nomad RV topics. Finding a place to, and how did I find the place? I Googled and I read reviews of people, and um, so I picked this place and ended up being okay. Now, it would have been a little different had I had a major engine problem. I would have dug a little deeper. I would have gotten on the community page and asked, and I would have asked people that I know personally here, and I would, that deep dive isn't really necessary. It's a patch of tire. So that's it. I'm going to leave you off here, and thanks for watching today's video. Let's what do you say? Because we're about to leave this beautiful place. Let's hang in here with that beautiful view for a little while. This stretch here between Angel Fire and Eagle Nest, it's around about 10 miles. People locally refer to it as the Valley. I understand in fall there's a gradual but steady changing of the leaves that's pretty dramatic here. I won't be here to see it. I'll leave it a little bit too soon. I can tell fall is coming. How can I tell? It was still like at 10 o'clock in the morning, it was still like 42 degrees. That's usually what I'm used to in the summer here. Is around about 10 o'clock, it's 68, on its way to, 70, 72, 75. It wasn't until afternoon it hit 70 degrees, and it's almost 2 o'clock, it's 71. So it's cooling down. Do you need more water there, Dottie? Drinking a lot of water. Oh, maybe I didn't pour that much. There you go. I can see the clouds starting to build up on the peaks of the mountain, and to the mountain to the right here, which is called Baldy. And even the very top of Touch Me Not Mountain are being obscured with clouds. And what does that mean? That means the rain is coming. We get a little bit of rain almost every afternoon. Some rain and some thunder boomers, right, Dottie? Now from here I can see off to the right the valley that is the village of Eagle Nest. Very tip of the lake there. I was doing some research and I found the level of the lake is about half of what the capacity of the lake is. And I tried to figure out, when was it ever at capacity, and so far I've not been able to find those records. but I know it's low. I know by seeing it, I can see it's lower than it was last year. And last year, locals were saying it seems low. What they need is something they have not had for a few seasons, is a heavy snow winter. Hopefully they'll get that this year. This is the turnoff here to the right for the Eagle Nest State Park. And hopefully that'll be open, the new camping area with fresh electric hookups, and I believe water, maybe just electric, I'm not sure, definitely electric, right, with great views of the lake. Will be open, according to the ranger that I spoke to recently, May 1st, and this is the second summer it's gone with the camping part not being open, only because they have not been able to finish it in time. Of course, here we have Eagle Nest finally. Elevation 8258, 8,258 feet. So one of the reasons it's, well, now it's 73 degrees, but you know, who knows, this under the hood F-150 outdoor temperature thing isn't all that reliable. Passing the Golden Eagle RV Park. In the Valero on the left here where you get gas, but Rocky, more important, you got the post office and Rocky's Market is in that building. But you know, look at Rocky's Market. It just looks like a regular convenience store. Well, let me tell you a secret. The woman that works there makes some fresh, hot food, and she makes a breakfast sausage sandwich, egg and sausage and cheese sandwich that is to die for about $3 and change. Yes, sirree, bub. And up here on the left is the Enchanted Eagle Park, which I was going to ride my bike to today and sit and have a little chat with you before I checked the tire pressure and decided I needed to do something about this today. So maybe that'll happen tomorrow around this time. And then on the left here, we have American West Real Estate and the Home Decor and Furnishings place, where my friend Stacy Ewing owns, next to the Thai Angel restaurant. And of course, the kitchen shop, which is Zella's Kitchen Shop, which I just did a video on a couple weeks ago because they're selling that. And it had a really great response with the potential, there's even a potential buyer talking to them as a result of the video, which made me feel really good. And then if you look here, there's a restaurant, the spelling is Kaw-Lija, and it's Kalijah's. That's how you pronounce it. They got pretty good food there, pretty good ice cream, pretty good food. Then we're passing Antlers Crossing, little cabins, little places to stay right in the middle of town. And then there's the Lucky Shoe Bar and Grill, and it's only in the evening, a supper place. I think it's Thursday through Sunday. They open at 4 p.m. And I went in there to test them out finally this year. I didn't get a chance last year. And they had the best chicken sandwich I've ever had in my life. No joke. And then the last thing that you'll see that's special to me before we get home here is the Visitor Center and Gateway Museum. And why is that special to me? Because I am the guy that works there on Saturdays. be there today, this coming Saturday from 10:30 to 4:30. You want to come by and meet me and Dottie? If you're in the area, you're welcome to come by. We're coming to the end of the road here. End of the road for us because I'm going to turn into Weathers RV Park. If I kept going straight here, I'd go up through gorgeous Cimarron Canyon. Just unbelievable, unbelievably gorgeous Cimarron Canyon. I think the speed goes up to 50, and I think some people were not happy with me going so slow. But hell, I got to turn, folks. I got to go in here. Just in the what I call the Grand Canyon like cliffs and stuff as you drive through. There's only about 7 miles. Here we go. And here we are. I'm starting to see more and more empty spots. This is September. People are pulling out. Still got, a couple more weeks of summer left, but people are leaving. And you'll see that as we pull up at my spot, I'm not in one of those regular spots. I'm in a kind of a special spot out here in an open field next to the RV park, owned by the RV park. They have an arrangement where I stay out here. It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. This is my home for the summer. Less than a week from Sunday, though, I'll be pulling out. And there's my view of the lake. Isn't that gorgeous? All right. Dottie and I, it's time for us to say goodbye, Dottie. We'll see him on the next video tomorrow. Heck, this thing probably isn't going to be released until sometime next week. Can you believe it, Dottie, that I've got all these videos backed up, ready to go? That's not like me. Anyway, thanks for joining, and I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.